getting bowled by Walter, the late, great Walter Mazimola. He was sort of our first sort of bridge between sort of the townships, and, played a lot of cricket with him. And I remember him bowling me a beamer and me ducking it and it bowling me out and crying because I never like to get out. But just that meeting different people, playing something that you love.
What about you? Earliest memory?
Oh, I think my one was meeting up with Steve Trete.
Wow.
Because if you look back, the 1995, after we got into because we received the freedom in this country, especially when it comes to sport, and win the World Cup as well. When Dada Nelson Mandela, giving the trophy to, is that Francois Pienaar? Those the earlier as the memories, and then for us then to be part and parcel, because you remember we never played against white people. No, white school, they were far away from us. We couldn't play with them because we are rural boys. So being involved with the mini cricket, that brought us together. And then we ended up having friends like Neil McKenzie and Mark Boucher. And then for that point, I think mini cricket took us outside of our comfort. And then they sent us to the white school. Now I remember carrying my Nobkiri into a class, and then everyone asking, "What is this?" And I said, "That's my protection." The old thing. I think some of us, they don't have the same background that we have, but the opportunity that actually came through Baker's Mini Cricket, being taken from the rural area, being sent to the white school to learn the game of cricket, and then being part of the Baker's Mini Cricket as well, and then getting to, in a position that we can be able to speak the word of English. If we were kept in our rural areas, I don't think we will be in a position that we are today. And then the opportunity, that's actually been brought by mini cricket, it put us where we are. I actually was listening and then hearing and seeing what the impact of a KFC that has made, the same impact that Baker's mini cricket that has played, from our side point of view. And then I remember touring, to England, and McKenzie was my captain. That's the only time I knew that there's something called roll on.
I didn't think we were going to get there, but
I didn't know. I didn't know. We used to know, the sunlight, the steak one, where you just put it in your armpit and then that's it. This guy was rooming with him. And then they get together, and Mark Boucher and Walter Masemola with the rhino teeth hanging in there. They called me aside and says, "Mac, come here." And then I got into his room, and then, bubbly as I am, he said, "Brah, you stink." "What do you mean I stink?" I said, "No, you need to go and find a roll on." And then the name of the roll was what? Mom. And then I came back, and then I went straight to the room that they were. And then I showed him, I said, "Listen, you see, I got myself a mom, and then it smelled like roses." For the first time. So the reason why I'm saying these things, it's how cricket's
brought you together.
Yeah, cricket actually got into the position that he was not scared, of telling me what I needed to have to become a better person.
But that he was interested enough in you. And if you think about a program like Mini Cricket, it starts lifelong relationships. I mean, Mac, when I walked in, I was like, the two usual suspects again. And I mean, you can't leave each other because you tend to keep coming in. What's your view of this lifelong friendship that you've had because of the ability to come together for Mini Cricket?
Well, I think it's just the opportunity, first of all, to sort of meet new people and people that are passionate about cricket. So, you've got an equal footing in terms of your vision on what you want to do. Makhaya and I, Walter Mazimola, Mark Boucher, all the guys have lived a dream, and it starts at the foundation level. There's not going to be too many people in that program, and the numbers are unbelievable, and it's such a success story. So congratulations to obviously KFC and Cricket South Africa on your partnership and what you've done for South Africa. But it's just, that percentage that we got to play for the Proteas,
Mm.
it's a small, narrow percentage, but
Yeah.
there's an opportunity, there's a dream. You know, with the gender equality at the moment, you're looking at the Proteas women's side and what they've done. You know, you look, I've got 2 daughters as well. They're in schools. All of a sudden, there's a huge cricket programs.
Yeah.
There's people wanting to be cricketers, and that's what you want. And I think the best people in cricket are generally not the players. They're the super fans. They're the administrators. They're the umpires, like maybe not the umpires when I'm batting, but the scorers, those people, that passions come from somewhere. And the earlier you instill it in these kids, and the opportunity you do to give them that opportunity to forge a relationship like Makhaya and myself have had over the years, you know, it's a privilege.
I was at the World Cup, and Amelia Kerr, who was player of the tournament and player of the final, she spoke about writing a story when she was in school about playing alongside her heroes, Susie Bates and Sophie Devine. And then she played a World Cup final and won a World Cup final with them. And she's potentially the future captain of New Zealand. What I love about this program, my favorite part of the program, is bringing children closer to their role models. We had a lovely interaction 15 years ago when KFC signed. We were in the marketing department and we were wondering, like, how do we go about this? And there was only one name that stood out in terms of being an ambassador. And I think you said yes even before we got through what the question was properly, because you just were so excited about it. What was it like for you to become an ambassador of a program that you believed so much in?
Ma'am Naidu, it's sorry for saying Ma'am Naidu.
That's fine. Everyone calls me that anyway.
Yeah. You know, being an ambassador of something that made you a person. It's one of those things that you can never say no. It doesn't have to be money material in being part of it. Just by you, being part of the kids, and then you look at yourself and says, I was one day one of those kids, and now look at where I am. And then for me to be part and parcel of that, it was, it's almost like you say, you're bringing back, the skills that you've learned from the KFC or you learned from Baker's Mini Cricket, and then now I'm where I am. So it was one of those moments that when I said yes, I want to be part of that. I want to show the skills that I was shown, before, and then give it to the young ones. It was not even have to think about it.
No,
to
you
say,
just pitched up.
Yeah, of course.
Gosh, you ran them off their feet. I remember some of them weren't even sure whether this was play or this was real work because you went at them.
When you think about it, now we're wearing shoes. We're wearing everything is almost like we've been given for free. And then I remember when I had absolutely nothing, where Raymond Boy gave me his last pair of shoes, I have to put wires around it because every time I ran, they were talking to me all the time because they were flapping, So seeing that, as well, and being able to give back, and then tell the story to the young ones that it doesn't matter where you come from. I was one of them. I had absolutely nothing. We never had a kit. We used to carry only a plastic bag, being on a Raymond Boy parky at the back. So those kind of things, they really made an impact to us as kids. So for me, saying yes to you and with KFC and being an ambassador of that, it was just, an unbelievable, moment, and then enjoying that moment as well, because, being part of something that it made you a better person.
And you're giving back to the next generation.
Exactly. So as I was saying earlier on, looking at the numbers that they actually have, since 40 years ago, as you're saying, Mackie, so it really makes, it makes you think as a person that came through that rank.
Neil, let's look at what can still be achieved in this program. And I loved what Akona and Poletsi spoke about, doubling the numbers. I mean, you almost feel as though with the 15 years of investment put in, there's just so many opportunities to grow. As someone who's part of the program, what would you like to see them take forward in order to future-proof this program and make sure it's sustainable for years to come?
Well, I think more of the same. That's probably the easiest one. I think bridging that gap. I think we've already seen, sort of, as I mentioned, with girls' cricket at the schools, more teams, more leagues. I did the 100 competition in England, and their competition, the women's side follows the men's side around the country. So I think it's just more of the same, and hopefully a win in the final at some stage.
I'll take one.
Just on what you were talking about, Makhaya there, I just thought, like Makhaya's talking about his Taki talking to him. And so a feather in Makhaya's cap is that, as a Protea cricketer, you get sponsored a lot of things. And he never, ever took his sponsorship for granted. Yeah. He never grabbed extra pairs of shoes or whatever it is. And on tour, the late Grulam Raja, who was our South African manager, he always used to worry about excess luggage. And if you're in India, guys are giving away their cricket equipment for sort of carpets and bits and pieces. So Makhaya was always the worry coming home. And because the guys would be there for 2-3 months, and you finish with a pair of shoes, you finish with a pair of gloves, and he was collecting pairs of shoes and pairs of gloves to bring back to give to his club cricket guys back home in East London. So that's the type of guy that he's giving back. And I think as an ambassador for KFC, he's lived it and here to show for it.
You certainly have. I mean, I'm really taken by this conversation. It's sometimes so easy to stick to the script, but because I know the two of you as well as I do, and I know just the full circle moments you've had in your career, it's so nice to be able to humanize an impact study like this. And for us to, when we look at the numbers, know the journeys that you all have been through. Are there any questions or comments, or maybe a joke for Makhaya? He generally likes that. As I ask my final questions to wrap up. Makhaya, we'll start with you. We've achieved a lot as South African cricket. I mean, 3 World Cup finals since 2023. And it's not just about World Cup finals, it's about so much growth. As a Protea legend, what is your wish for South African cricket?
Wow. Should I be honest?
Well, I mean, to a point. So I don't want to manage this long conversation, which should be had later on. But I mean, yeah, absolutely.
No, I think, and as we were talking about, we've been through this journey, and then I think now, because I'm a commentator, so I see it now from the other side of things, and then I think, Buleti, I want to go straight to you. And I think we need more black cricketers, regardless of what I don't know where we're lacking, but I really, really, from my side of things, I think as a country that has, more population of black people, you can't tell me that you can't find 5 fast bowlers. We're only depending on Kagiso Rabada or Ngidi. Now we're only waking up, but we're seeing Mapaka. How long Mapaka will be as fast grown to become Kagiso Rabada or played in the same team as Kagiso Rabada at the same time? So those are kind of things that I think, I personally, because I was the only one right through until I retire, where lefty from PE, they just ran. Yeah, Totobe, that it didn't stay that long. And then at the same time, we had a lot of players. We had Ngam, we had Monde Zondeki, but even them, they'd never had that opportunity of play longer, their career. So it's one of the things that I think CSA need to look at and find the way that they could, see where they can find black cricketers. I'm not only talking from the bowler's point of view. Where is the black batters? We can't have Bavuma only the person that is standing out. You see, so that's, if we can have that change, and then I think South Africa is the reason why it's not winning World Cup, because that's the lack of that potential black cricketer who can stick around and hit the winning run that we did in 4-3-8.
Oh, are you going to always go on about it? You're going to always go on about 4-3-8. I knew that. I knew you were going to be the one bringing it out. But you know what I love about cricket? Cricket is one of the only sports that is happy to have hard conversations.
Yeah.
We are one of the only sporting codes. A lot of the sporting codes in South Africa be like, don't ask that question, because I'll tell you what, you're the problem, because you were such a success. You laid such a platform for young Black cricketers to believe in their dreams. In fact, the weight on your shoulders, I can't even imagine what there was like. But we're seeing the youngsters come through. There are more playing opportunities now, Neil, than ever before. I mean, I think as a cricketer now, you're spoiled for choice about how to go build your skill set to become not irreplaceable, but one of the most valued member of the team wherever you play.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunity around the world at the moment. I think you just look at the resources that we've got in South Africa. We're not lacking for resources. No. So, you look what the rugby's done, the cricket. We've got all this talent. It's just nurturing, and we don't have to go out and find any talent. The talent is right here, and there's definitely a lot more Makhaya Ntinis out there, Rabadas, Pollocks, Smiths.
Hopefully not too many pollies on the jokes. It is, and what I like about today is I just feel like the more we progress, the more gaps we see. And the great thing about gaps, ask Ryan Abana, you just got to breach those and you got to go through. And I think that's what we have here.
When you're talking about privilege and underprivilege, it's that will never end. That is forever there. But it just needs someone who will be able to get out and look for those players and look for those kids. I cannot say players because it all started from where we are, in the grassroots, and get to the position where you're nursing them from under 15, under 19, and then they represent the SAA side, and then to get to the provincial as well. Privileges. It's something that we look at it, and I don't like the word called privilege, because now you always putting the name into a person. If we can say the talent is something that we need to look for, and then don't look at the name, just look for the talent and opportunity that you will give it that particular person. So for me, if we can close that gap, it will make a massive difference, even to the kid as well. You can't say to me after playing 50 and then you can still call me someone a quota player. That cannot be, because if I play with McKenzie from under 15, under 19, I cannot, when I represent the country, I still called quota player, because that was the name that was used before even we played for for their provinces, that they look for quota players. If we can run away from that kind of a word, and then we select the player as it is, and then that on its own, it will give a power to the player to be able to perform without being labeled as a quota, or I would say a black cricketer. If we can be cricketers, all of us, I think, the opportunities and then the difference, then between that, it will actually make a massive difference for the players.
I was looking at one of the slides from Dr. Tracy's presentation, looking at equal opportunities and all of this, and I almost feel the fundamentals of KFC mini cricket, if used at all levels of cricket, will bring real change.